This is the FastBreak, the ultimate podcast where we dive deep into the world of the MMA Basketball Association. Guiding you through the highs, the lows, and the incredible stories that make basketball more than just a game. Be competitive, be the dogs you know you are, but most importantly, be careful. This is the FastBreak.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? Back with another episode. Y'all already know we actually got a lot to catch up on, so not even gonna take a whole lot of time getting this intro going. It's your boy BG. You know, we got the fellas here. Let them introduce themselves.
Ace.
All
Ace
right.
is in the building. I'm sorry.
This is in the building. You got producer D, of course.
Man, we gonna have to come up with a better intro because Ace can never remember to introduce himself. You know what I'm saying? Like this is crazy. But that being said, so back with another episode of the Fast Break, bringing you everything MMA. I do want to save like 5 minutes towards the end to touch on some MJ LeBron NBA playoffs talk just for a tiny bit, but we'll get to that later. Definitely want to talk about the goings on in the league. So since our last pod, there has been tons of activity. We had dude quit the league for, stated reasons, but reasons that don't make sense to this specific commentator. But dude quit the league. We had somebody fill in. We had a team have to play with the reserve a few times, and said reserve, aka M Will, has been lighting it up. Definitely being a big part of Roman Empire putting some wins together. I think as of this pod, or as of this recording, I believe Roman is in second place in the standings right now. And the way these standings are playing out, like any little bit of space is huge. So got Roman in second. Can one of y'all actually, matter of fact, we'll just talk about, let's go right down the standings and we'll kind of go from there. One of y'all want to bring up that official thing?
You got Roman in second right now. They're 4-4.
Wait, why y'all? I'm confused. Why y'all keep skipping first? Who went first?
Bro, I think the whole chat been put on notice. They don't even want to talk about who went first.
Oh, all right. Because I keep hearing y'all say second, but I don't.
You already know who in first place.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
your Snow Knights. Your Snow
There you go.
Knights, 9-0. BG, there he is. My boy Killer Mike. DJ.
Mike.
DJ just been having a phenomenal season this season. And of course me. So we 9-0 at the top of the standings. Then you got Roman Empire at 4-4. Of course, if anybody forgot, two of their losses came by forfeit. But Roman even though they 4-4, they look like probably to me our biggest competition right now. But we got to see what they look like with a new add-on. Then you got Eagles at 4-5. Bahama Boys International, they at 3-5, and they're currently up right now on Roman as we speak in the third quarter. And then you got Underdogs, that's 3-6. So of course you had Mac that started off hot. He was in talks for MVP talk. And he been balling. We just played them recently, but they got to start stringing together some wins because they in fifth spot. And they're Ronins at 3-6. So they're tied with Underdogs. I believe Underdogs has the head-to-head over them right now. But Sosa and Tone, I think they had high hopes. So I know they disappointed right now to be in sixth spot.
Hey, proof that playing with your boys don't always work, brother.
Yeah. Funny thing is, before the season started, and I'm not even being funny, I didn't think there's no way I would have said Ronan's coming in last. Like, okay, obviously, Bahama had the little sneak surprise with the trade and Ando and all that stuff. So that's one thing. But I still would have never, you could have nothing would have told me Ronan's would be in last at this time. But there's still a whole lot of season left. We haven't even we actually reached basically the conclusion of this week will be like more or less the midway point, the start of next week, because we'll be at starting week 4 out of 7. So I don't know, bro. Like looking at these standings, a lot of stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll tell you all this. Starting out our first game of the season was against the underdogs, and the way they played, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna be a problem. They're gonna be. I'm looking at it like, yeah, that's gonna be our comp right there. And the way they play, I just thought like, yeah, they're gonna be tough. And to tell me they went from, I think they started out that first week they played 3 games. They started out 2-1. Their only loss was to us. And then since then, they went from 2-1 to 3-6. So in their last 7 games, they've only won 1 game. So and they lost, you know, 6 out of 7. That's hard, bro. Or not 6. They lost 5 out. Maybe it's 5 out of 6. I can't do my math, but if they had 1 loss, yeah. So now it's 3-6. So they got to figure something out. And I know I said it's still early, but you can't. This losing streak can't continue for much longer, or they're going to be in big trouble. Especially with teams like Bahama and Eagles starting to really put some stuff together. Granted, I'm gonna put a little asterisk on the Eagles' last win against Bahama because Bahama was missing their star, Ando. So, but Eagles still they look like they're starting to figure things out. They're getting some chemistry and so forth. Ace, I just want to get your thoughts on the state of the league and the standings and so forth, man.
I feel like actually it's I think it's like every other year. I feel like every year you have one team that is undefeated or the team that's like the team to beat. And then it's like, you got a second team who's like not the best, like obviously like not the best, but right there, which would be Roman, I guess, in this sense. But and then the rest of the teams are like hovering around like the same area, I guess. So I feel like it's like every other year. I don't really know who separates themselves from the rest of the group. But as far as state of the league and balance, I feel like the league is really balanced. I feel like it's just, a lot of game planning, with other caps and stuff or whatever, game plans that could just need some fixing. But I feel like the league is pretty balanced.
I think
Yeah,
yeah, when you talk about game plan, we just came off of last night playing against underdogs who, like they're a good team. I think their record, don't really show how good they could be. But they started off hot, and we kind of when we was playing them, we noticed that they try to run their offense through Mac, which most teams. I don't know how like it is in 2K. I don't know if like that's the best plan to try to run your offense through your center, but like Mac was definitely getting busy, but it's just like their offense was kind of stale. So as far as game
I,
plan, like
I
that might
think
be
that
something that they got to
it
look
works.
into.
I just think they force feed him. So whereas like a center is fitting the offense or you're running the offense through the center, because I can honestly say last night we ran our offense through BG. Like I think throughout the
That's
whole
true. That's
second
true.
half,
That's true.
we ran our offense throughout BG, and um he making plays. I feel like people get mixed. Running your offense through someone means they taking all the shots, whereas it's just for example, BG running the offense last night and dishing the rock off or re in the offense. So I just think they need to help Mac out and stop force feeding him the ball and forcing him to put up so many shots and having him have to do everything.
Yeah, let's get a game break real quick. So, while we were talking at the start of the fourth quarter, I believe Roman Empire was down 10 points. They stormed back, went on a ferocious run. They're now up 1 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth. They were just, and I mean, they were in a danger zone, but they put together some big stops. And Will got some big stops at the basket. It looks like they've figured out a little bit how to deal with that pick and roll with Ando and Evan. And right now, they have a chance to increase this lead. They just got a big stop again. Now there's 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Looks like Bahama just used the foul, but they still have a couple to give because it was before 2 minutes. Miggy's got the ball, and he's sizing up Ando in the corner. Charlie pump fake at the basket, gives it back to Mig on the alley oop, and man, big finish, big slam, 3-point lead with 2 minutes left for Roman Empire. Bro, Roman's gonna be tough, man. we gotta like
Mm.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I know Ace mentioned like there's been some teams that have been, like dominant throughout, but from my experience, so we've had seasons like my team was in first, I think with Lock City, we were in first for most of the season. Then we ended up finishing in second, like at the last week. And we lost in the finals. I think in the 5 game series, we only won one game, 3-1. So we were pretty dominant for most of the season. We lost. The Bulldogs is another team that was dominant throughout the whole season, end up losing in the finals. I think it did go, we did best of 5, and I think it went to 5, but we still ended up losing. Miggy's team just last season was in first, Bayside. Now, obviously, their circumstances were a little different as they lost a huge contributor in YDC. But so if history is anything, tells us anything, Snow Dogs or Snow Knights, wow, we still gotta be careful. Like we've been saying, it all is 0-0 once the playoffs start, and just the Roman's gonna be tough. And as we go back to the game break, with a minute left, the teams are trading baskets. Miggy just brought the ball up, dish to Charlie for a quick dunk, and Roman's back up 1 with 50 seconds left. Ando hits Wayne for a backdoor. They take the lead again, 54, 53, 52, 52 seconds left. Somebody's got to get some stops. They're literally trading baskets, man. They are trading baskets. Miggy hits Drew, who we'll touch on in a bit later. Pause. Big shot taken by Ando. He missed a wide open 3. And man, that foul there that wasn't Drew, that was Danny, I'm sorry. Apologize. Danny with the foul.
Is Drew playing center for them?
No,
he was like small forward.
Yeah, I believe he's listed as like, or they probably got him as like shooting guard or something like that. Oh no. And one of the teams needed a stop. They got a costly charge on Miggy with 30 seconds left. Roman's down 1. I wondered if that charge is gonna come back to bite him in the butt. Let's see what happens from here. Roman has no fouls to give, so any fouls here on out is putting Bahama at the line. Ando's trying to size up the youngin. Drew closes out, good defense, take away the 3. Dishes to Evan and gives the ball back to Ando. They hit Wayne for a slip, and now Bahama is up 3 with 12 seconds left. Let's see if Roman goes for a quick 3 or they go for a quick basket. The 3, they're contesting the 3s very well. Oh no, Miggy! Oh no! And Miggy has a free lane to the basket, and because of the time, he steps back to the 3-point line to try to take a 3. Wayne plays excellent defense on that last possession, contested 3. And
Bahama boys
goes
with
on to
another
win.
legitimate win. That boy Ando been a savior, low key.
Yeah. Let's see. So Ando I'm gonna pause it right here so I can look at the box score. So we have a good game from Ando, not the most efficient. He shot 6 for 14, 17 points, did have a good 13 assists, 3 for 8 from the 3. The next leading scorer was tied between both Wayne and Evan, who were both efficient. Wayne shot 6 for 10. Evan was 6 for 7 with 12 points each and 13 rebounds for Evan. And then on the other side, Miggy actually had a pretty good game. I think that last possession could have gone a little bit better. Bahama played very great defense. They just chased him off the 3-point line. They literally did not care about the basket at that point. We saw Evan closed out on Will, who he'd been giving Will some open shots, but he made sure to stay at home that time. Wayne stayed at the 3-point line. So did everybody else. So Miggy had the free lane and chose to try to get a quick 3. And then so Miggy had 20 on 8 for 16 with 2 for 6 from 3, 10 assists. The second leading scorer was Will with 16 points and 8 rebounds, 2 assists on 5 for 8 and 3 for 6 shooting respectively. So it was a nice game, good battle. Looks like Roman actually. Go ahead, Darius.
Just like that, we got a 3-way tie between second, third, and fourth place. Everybody has four wins and 5 losses between Roman, Empire, Eagles, and Bahama Boys.
Man, this is
That's
this
crazy.
is this is now this is what so for those that don't know, front office, we've been trying to do a lot of work behind the scenes and so forth going into this season to keep the league as balanced as possible. Because we've seen, so many seasons come where not just like Ace has mentioned, there's been like a team that's been pretty dominant, but we've also seen where it's been so many teams that have just been like they were the free win for everybody. This season, at this point, there is no free win, and Ronan's included. Ronan's have lost some really, really close games, literally either at the buzzer or with a game-winning shot, and then they maybe had a couple seconds left to put up a shot. So
Yeah.
every team has been competitive throughout this entire season. And shout out to you guys, all the players, for just making it fun this season. Really just making it competitive, not giving up regardless of the standings. And by the way, I know I did mention this, but Ace, you want to remind everybody about the rule for the play-in, because we have established a rule for the play-in now.
Say that again,
Ace,
Brody. My fault.
you just want to reiterate the play-in rule that we've added for this season.
Oh, what? So I think if what is it, fifth and fourth are one game from each other, then they play that one game to get into the playoffs. But see, this
Yes,
might be
sir.
tough because what if fifth and sixth, like fifth, sixth, and fourth? Right now, this like the standings are crazy.
Yeah. So I was talking with Phil actually, and he was saying, wouldn't it be crazy if like if they all finish, with, let's say somehow they finish with the same record, we're obviously gonna have to come into like tiebreaker, there's gonna be tiebreakers and stuff like that. But if they all finish within, a game of each other from let's say fourth to sixth or third, even third to sixth. Now I don't think third place should be up for grabs per se, but just like the NBA, Phil was like, well, why don't we have six plays five, and then the winner goes on to play fourth for that last place. If they're all for that last playoff spot, if they're
Mm-hmm.
all that one game apart. And I personally, now I know some people, especially like those that finish above six, they might feel like, well, why do we have to play an extra game if we finish above them? But hey, if y'all only finish one game above them, I don't feel that anybody deserves it so much more than sixth place. But
Right.
I was just gonna say my thoughts on this though. So I feel like this would be great because it keeps teams competing, it keeps everybody trying to win. Whereas in the past, we've had like that last week of the season, the entire week almost didn't matter. As of right now, if this season plays out the way it's playing, every single game matters right now.
Yeah.
So I like it. I
And,
like it.
and actually, it shows how balanced the league is because we got five teams essentially all having the same record. I mean,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's, like you said, there's no free wins in the league. I don't feel like there's any team in the league that's bad necessarily. I mean, Bahama Boys looked bad, but once the moves happened, they've been solid. I think they like on a 3-game winning streak. So I mean, 3 or 4-game winning streak. I mean,
Nah, they're not on. They lost last night, but they were missing their
who they
star
lose
player
to?
once again.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
lost to
Okay,
the Eagles.
yeah. They
Um,
did. They got fried.
but that was without their star player. And especially not even just their star player, but when you take the point guard off of a team, that hurts any team. Like it's hard. I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
two biggest positions to lose might be center and point guard, where you have to have a reserve. I think center is
Mm-hmm.
much easier to replace though. Like, you bring in
Yeah.
if I can't play for a game and M Will hops on center, I don't think that it's gonna be like the team can't survive. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
think Ace is missing for a game and we have to get a point guard from the reserve pool. It's gonna hurt us. No question about it. Now, in our case, we can turn to Mike and have Mike run PG, but other
Right.
teams, especially like in Bahamas case, they're built to play kind of like around Ando.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big loss. But I kind of let's actually now they just won the game. I really wish we could get him in here for post game commentary. As a matter of fact, if y'all give me a second, I'm gonna see if
You don't got
Brax.
time for that.
I'm gonna just see if they're available to just come in here real quick. In the meantime, let me see. Let me see. All right. So in the meantime, we did want to get on talk about Ando a bit. So as we said, Ando's been at it. So how did he get added? What was the whole? There was like trades. What was the whole thing that the picture that got him into added to Bahama? I'm trying to remember.
So Ando got invited because Miami and Bishop, they was having some tension with Brax and they wanted off the team. Brax made that trade. He sent Miami and Bishop to Eagles for Said and Wayne. Wayne? Yeah, Said and Wayne.
Dead and Wayne, yes.
And unfortunately, Said he couldn't finish the season out anymore. So Brax, he needed to pick up a fifth player. We didn't have a free agent pool anymore. At that point, we only had all reserves. And even some of the reserves, they said that they didn't want to play full time. So we didn't really have anybody for Brax to pick up full time. So Brax,
Well,
go
just a
ahead.
side note. Nobody was willing to step up to play for the worst team in the league at that point in time. Nobody wanted to do it.
Yeah, I mean that too. So, to try to find a fifth player for Brax, Brax had volunteered to bring in another person, which was his boy Ando. Of course, we're trying to make sure that a team we don't lose a team. So, if Brax, if we did whatever we needed to do to bring in a fifth player just so we can keep six teams, he brought in his boy Ando that nobody really knew about. At least that's what was put out there. But Ando stepped in, and I think to everybody's surprise, like he 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 honestly can be talked about as a franchise player type talent.
Big
So
time.
I don't
Big
think
time.
any of us thought that he was going to be on that level. And
Yeah.
he's showing his impact right away because Bahama boys, man, they was going to have a long season, and Ando he just stepping in. With the type of play style that he got, hey, he a bucket.
Yeah. And he brought some stability to a team that needed it badly. That's the big thing. Not just that he's a bucket, but they didn't really have an identity, in my opinion, prior to that. The trade prior to the signing. Because when they had, Bishop, Miami, Evan, Brax, and Tyler John, I hope that's his name, or John Tyler, um,
Hmm.
to me it was like, what is this team, what are they good at? They're not. One thing we knew for sure, they were not a good 3-point shooting team. um
Yep.
so that was one major flaw. And then it was like, are they going to be a driving kick, are they going to be an interior team? They had Evan, but Evan was on a different position every other game. It felt like I don't remember seeing him at center
Yeah.
too much before that. um so it was a lot going on. Hold on, let me let him know. I think Brax is going to join us in a minute. Um, keep that in mind when you join. Um, so they just were all over the place to me. So they, adding Ando brought them that stability. And again, I feel like honestly, the most important position to me in the league is point guard. And it's the reason I feel like that is I just feel like you need somebody to steer the ship no matter what. Like you can have a dominant center, as we see with Mac. You can have a dominant center, but it doesn't matter if you don't have that point guard kind of like leading the ship. Then the team is gonna go as the point guard goes. And that's it is what it is. So I think we'll maybe we can come back to Bahama once Brax joins. He says he's down to join. Um so
No, we got
in,
5 minutes before the segment moves, man.
yeah, we'll have to keep it moving. But we'll come back to Bahama. So now, okay, Roman took a loss tonight, kind of a big loss because had they won, that would have really done wonders to like solidify them in the second position, second spot on the standings. I think
Hmm.
it would have even given them like a 1 or 2 game lead over everybody else. With this loss means now second place is wide open, wide open. And you got what, Eagles, Roman. I believe once you update the standings, it'll be Eagles, Roman, and Bahama each with 4 wins, right? And 5 losses.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. So, uh, good thing is for teams that were waiting, I'm sure if I'm the Eagles and underdogs and Ronins, hate to see it, but I'm rooting in this game. I'm rooting for Bahama because you don't want the Roman Empire to get too much of a big lead for
Hmm.
second place. Now, what do you guys think as far as let's just go through each team real quick. What do you guys think? Like Roman, what do they need to do? Is there anything that they need to change really going forward for them?
I don't really think so. I think they had a lot of player movement this season. It's like you got your full team, then you need reserves. I think they started off needing two reserves because two people were on vacation. Then you had the issue with the player who quit.
Mm.
So they really haven't had an opportunity to play full games with their full team. So I don't really think that's an issue. I think with them it's just chemistry.
Yeah, yeah. Now we got to mention, so they did have a player that quit. We were gonna have a big announcement. Still need to have it made by our media guy, but for the sake of the pod, they have added a player. Somebody that both Darius and I know, Drew, and he had a nice debut. He didn't do anything that was like crazy jumping off the pages, off the pages or anything like that. But he had a very solid game. His first game was 12 points on literally 5 for 10, so 50% shooting. But then outside of that, this last game, just tonight, I think he was 3 for 7. Not a terrible game, maybe not the best game, but I think that's what Drew's gonna bring them for the rest of the season going forward. He's going to bring them some decent shooting, maybe a little bit of like creating his own shot, because I got to run with him a little bit. He definitely can create his own shot when given the opportunity, and we'll just see. Hopefully, they're able to utilize him on Roman. Now, we actually want to check the waiting room. We do have a special guest, so we can get him in here and introduce him. All right, so we're going to introduce Brax, the captain of the Bahama Boys International, fresh off of a win. Brax, how you feeling? First off, fresh off of that win, how you feeling?
Uh, feeling good, bro. Relieved that he got one win out for the week. So happy for that. Think it would have been 2 wins if we had a point guard last night, but things happen.
Oh, talking heavy. You hear that, Eagles? He said if they had their point guard, they win that game. I'm waiting to see that rematch. That's gonna be a good one. I got that got that stamped as a game to watch. Now, Brax, we kind of were talking about Ando before you joined. Question for you. So, number one, for a lot of people that they do not know, and I'll go ahead and say this: there was a meeting with the front office and yourself, and then the front office and your team, and this was now prior to the trade that we've already discussed. Prior to that trade, there was, I guess, the best word to say. I won't even say lack of chemistry. It was worse than a lack of chemistry. There was some issues going on. So first off, give us your thoughts to start the season, just how you were feeling to start the season, as opposed to how things are now. And you don't have to like call anybody out or anything, but just how you felt as a captain of a team that felt like it was in such disarray.
Hey man, you can speak your truth, brother.
Being on the other side of the what's the word? Well, anyway, not being a captain, being a regular player, I've seen how captains would operate, stuff like that. Some were good, some had some things that they could have worked on. So I went on with a positive mind, a positive spirit, and wanted to change the way that that I think a captain should conduct himself or act. So I was honest up front with all my guys. I told them I wouldn't trade them unless I spoke with them first individually. Because I believe that we could win. So any person who's on my team could honestly say that I was I was there. We was communicating all the time. I actually set specific dates for practice games. I had everything in order actually. However, when it comes to games like these, sometimes we get I don't want to say competitive because anything that you play is probably gonna be competitive, but sometimes we let it get too serious. I believe it's a game. I'm in this league because I want to enjoy time with my brothers and be able to play a game together without having the need to play with really people. I think that's one of the reasons why the league was created.
Mhm.
And I that's basically what I wanted to do. And however, we're all imperfect, and things happen. But if things not working out, then you got to switch some things up. Even in a relationship, if things not working out the way you like it, you got to change some stuff up. So we realized as a team, some things happened that shouldn't have happened. However, it did. But it seemed to be beneficial for both sides.
Nice, nice. He was trained by his PR team for that message. That was nice. But I did so when you because front office they created a chat with you directly and kind of presented a I guess like a optimatum or what is it? Yeah, ultimatum to you.
Ultimatum.
And you don't gotta express exactly what the ultimatum was, but how'd you feel about that? Like, did you kind of feel blindsided, or did you kind of have an idea that, you had guys on your team that really wasn't really trying to stay and play for Bahama Boys? Like, did that how when we created that chat, what was your feeling with that?
Well, going into captainship, I already had a reputation. I wouldn't say that it was a good one. I don't feel as though it's what's the word, 100% truth. But if that's how people feel, that's how people feel. So we went in being the sixth team in the league. Nobody expected us to win games really, so it wasn't any expectations from that end. Just go out there, try to win games, have fun. Um, and can you repeat the question, bro, one more time?
What was when we created that chat, the day that we kind of like got some information from
Oh
some
yeah, you
of
say
your team
blindsided.
members?
Oh yeah,
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 like
yeah.
how'd you feel? I know that was
Yeah,
probably from the
that
complainant side,
was
but
that was not a good feeling. Because like I said, I was honest and upfront with all my guys. It's a particular person on my team who's not there anymore. I won't call any names, but we basically talked almost every day, trying to work on some things with the team, and it seemed as though they were the one who was frontlining the the team effort and trying to get trying to change some things, with the main concern being me not handling captainship uh, fairly and good.
Man, it was. I'm gonna straight up call it. It was a mutiny. It was a mutiny at one point. It was a mutiny. They was
Yeah.
calling for Brax's head, and Brax wasn't going down without a fight. And I got to give you credit. When you talked with us, like Brax stood his ground. He stood his ground, and he was like, "Nah, fellas, this ain't it." He gave his viewpoint, and he did it respectfully. Like we all men, grown men at the end of the day. And like he said, it is a video game, so we're not trying to like we ain't trying to lord it over anybody or anything like that. But he stood his ground, and then he was like, "Hey, man, I got to make some moves." So the other part of it, Brax was feverishly working the trade. I can't. He was trying to make some trades. He was trying to make some things shake. Some of the trades that were sent to their front office, we had to review them, and it was like, "Come on, bro, this ain't it. Like, there's no way we can approve this." um, and there was just it was some trades we're like, nah, bro, this is So from there, he was on the lines trying to make trades, make stuff happen for like a couple of days, and finally we get the trade with the Eagles of again, which we stated before, said and Wayne going from the Eagles to Bahama for Miami boy and Bishop. And I felt like personally, like, I think Brax should got the short end of the deal because I felt like he should have demanded at least one forfeit win from the Eagles. I
yeah,
felt
I ain't
like
gonna lie, Brax. We was talking about that trade. I mean, so we understood at that point, you was just trying to get, some guys off your team who didn't want to be there. But like Miami, he's a pretty good offensive talent. Bishop, he do his thing with the whole Duncan and all that stuff. And that's no shade. But for you to get back said, who some people don't really feel, he was a glue guy, basically. You got back Sed and Wayne. We just felt like you gave up more talent. So some of us, we just was feeling like you probably could have got a forfeit or two out of that trade. But I mean, we understood the fact that you was just trying to, move guys that so that they could be happy where they was getting moved to. But we did feel like that trade was a little lopsided. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
But then, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, the deciding factor was it was starter for starter, glue guy for glue guy. So I mean, it was like we
No,
felt
it
it was
definitely wasn't.
lopsided,
Listen,
but
it
at
wasn't
the
a
end of the
terrible
day,
trade. I don't think it
yeah,
was a
like
terrible trade. I think Brax did what he had to do, but it was just we was looking at it like, yo, Brax probably could have got a little more out of that.
yeah.
And but listen, I mean, as BG was getting to, I mean, he got Ando out of it, and I mean, Bahama Boys is not they not the butt of the joke anymore. They look like they made a complete 180 right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is the long run, it ended up working out in your favor because you gave up Miami. Yes. We all kind of agreed though after seeing Ando play, he would be if we had to start the season over, he would be a franchise guy, franchise player. So you end up getting him out of the deal. You end up getting getting two guys that were unhappy move, and you end up winning what? Since Ando has joined, have you guys won what, 3 games?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. We might we may have to start giving some consideration to Brax as a GM. Now, mind you, this is what I wanted to ask you. It was a little bit of a I'm not going to pull my punches here. A little bit of shadiness with bringing Ando in because we found out that you were like, oh, I got a surprise for the league. Don't tell anybody anything. Uh, yeah, he laughs. We were we were blindsided. Be honest, because you added John Tyler, and John has been a solid player. He actually, I think if we start the season over, I don't think he ends up with a glue guy designation.
Hmm.
Um, I think he's a starter caliber player, but nobody thought, all right, it's Brax. He's not bringing in no franchise player. Like he's just bringing in one of his boys. So you add Ando, and you know that's it definitely caught the league by surprise
Look,
because
Brax was scheming out there right before the season even started. He was trying to bring in this whole five. He was talking about, yo, I got four of my boys. He was trying to bring them in, pull a Miggy and draft all of them. So I don't know, bro. Brax, he talking about he got a couple more guys he can add to the team. I don't know if I can trust this guy now.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Yeah,
Emo
no,
laugh
yeah,
is
man.
crazy.
He's a real point. And like I said, you asked the reason why we were losing other games. I said we didn't have a point guard. So you put him on the team. It don't even matter who the guys are. You have a not at least an 80. I'd say I won't go. I won't be cocky and be like, nah. I'll be like 80. You have at least an 80% chance you're gonna win. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna probably record. I'll do like live, so you can actually like hear how he calls out plays and stuff like that. So you guys could
I
see
was
that
going to
side.
ask you that. I was going to ask you, what type of point, because we have different types of point guards in the league. You got guys who, kind of just, a little more reserved. They just play in the flow of the
Yeah.
game. You got guys who, like Ace, and I'm only speaking on Ace because I play with Ace, who is
Hmm.
very vocal about what they want done. I was going to ask you what type
Yeah.
of point guard
Yeah.
Ando
Yeah.
is.
He calls out every plays. He calls out offensive and defensive plays. So
What
Hmm.
plays y'all calling out? Because it seemed like it's just pick and roll.
Nah, no, but that's not
No,
the
I'm
case.
asking. I'm
But
asking.
no, that's not the case.
I
That's not the
mean,
case.
I guess I can't really like.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's not the case. But everybody have a different play style, and it working. So hey,
And so just to get a little background too,
yeah,
Ando, like him outside of 2K, like is that your boy? Y'all go to the same hall? Y'all
yeah,
grew up
yeah,
with each
yeah,
other,
yeah,
or
yeah,
you're just
yeah. We used to go to the same hall. He's from the Bahamas too.
okay?
So yeah, he lives there.
Okay, cool.
okay,
Hey man, we appreciate y'all, helping MMA go international, man. It's always like you said, it's all about experiencing the brotherhood, getting together, play some 2K. So we got guys from all over the globe at this point. So we appreciate you bringing them in.
yeah,
Tell him he need to hop in the Discord a little more, start talking that talk, man. We
yeah,
you
man.
know, because
Don't
I
do
mean,
Yeah,
that.
especially
yeah,
Stay
if you
reserved,
balling like
man.
that, bro, you gotta
Keep in
come out and
silence,
talk your
man.
talk.
Hoop is
Well,
silence,
y'all
man.
asking some
Because the
questions.
first
He should
bad
answer.
game you have, BG gonna be right at your neck. Hoop is silence, brother.
I
Wait,
asked
wait,
him. Asked him
what
some.
I do?
Asked
What
him.
I do?
He said
Yeah.
the first bad game you had, BG gonna be at your neck. So
He gonna be
just
right
Oh
at
stay
your
in the
nah,
neck.
bro.
shadows.
Hold up, it ain't BG. Hold up. The whole league be at people. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't do
Hey,
that.
Yeah,
hey,
nah. We
I
got a
can hear the
couple of
Yeah.
new
message
guys
right
that be
now.
talking
Um.
I,
spicy.
I can hear the message. Overrated? Question mark? Question mark? Question.
Yeah. Definitely not. But okay. You guys ask him some questions. He should answer.
All right,
Yeah, we
we're
gotta
gonna
try
do
to
that.
get one pot.
We're gonna look for that. I do want to just take this time publicly to thank you for again keeping it respectful. Brax is in my opinion, Brax is a stand-up guy. I don't care what you think about his 2K skills, but he's not going to disrespect anybody when he talks to him. He's going to stand there as a man and talk to you. So definitely respect you for that. And tip my hat to you being weathering the storm because those of us that have been captains, it's not always easy. We all know it's not always easy. You're gonna have guys questioning you. You're gonna have moments where you're questioning yourself, and especially if you have the season's only but so long. So a couple losses in a row, guys are starting to question stuff. The heads are dropping, so to speak. We had a game, we had a game last night, or I watched a game last night where a player just gave up. Like you could see it, his player, he stopped moving on the court, and there was still time left on the clock. So you got all kinds of stuff you got to deal with as a captain. So kudos to you again, even though you schemed it, because I'm definitely going to stand by that. But kudos to you for making it work and weathering the storm. So Bahamas not the laughing stock of the league. You're gonna have to watch out for them. Again, we said it before you joined, but there is no team in this league that is just a free win for everybody. You're gonna have
Correct.
to play every night. So we appreciate it, and yeah, making it MMA international. We got what? Bahamas in the building. Puerto
Puerto
Rico. We got
Rico.
Yeah.
Florida, Jersey, Philly. I think some
Yo,
ATL.
Maryland
don't we have like
boys.
some Alabama in there? Or I think
Nah,
no,
We
no Alabama.
I don't think not
Niz,
anymore.
no.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Then we got some Cali. Even though he didn't get signed. But we got
We
we
got
all over the
my
place.
boy Zach from Oklahoma.
Zach is from Jersey, bro.
Nebraska, where are you, bro?
All
But
right,
we
boys.
appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
uh,
Thanks so much for having me.
all right,
Thanks,
bro.
thanks for
I'll
dropping
talk
through,
to you.
bro.
Thank you for joining.
All right,
Yeah.
bro. And yeah. All right, bro.
All right, I'll
Go
talk
take
to you.
care.
Hey, so we're gonna
Hmm.
look to actually wrap this up ourselves. I think we kind of touched on everything we had wanted to discuss. I did want to bring up, so I know we kind of talked about it before, and I know I definitely mentioned it, but I just want to know what you guys think underdogs needs to fix. Like I know we talked about it a little bit. I'm really looking at it because I think to me on paper, I really feel like they have the most talented team in the league aside from us. I'm not talking about Snow Knights, but like I think they have the most talent because dot backslash JW King of Kings Adriel, all three of them can get buckets and create their own shot. So I don't want to help them fix it, but what do you think is the biggest issue that maybe that's it? What do you guys think is the biggest issue? I guess you kind of already mentioned that a little bit, but just what do you guys see there?
I
I
mean, when I
still
watch
think
their games,
team.
I'm not gonna lie. When I watch their games, I'm not really watching with that type of eye, so I would have to like go back and kind of like really watch for that specifically. But just based off of playing them last night, like I said, I feel like they played through Mac a little too much. So like Adriel, at least some of the games that he had early on in the season, he proved to be a bucket. I don't know. He seems. I mean, I had to guard him 1-on-1, and he was putting moves out there. I mean, I felt like I was staying with him pretty well, but he looks like he has the ability to create his own shot. So I don't know if it's trying to allow for him to create a little bit more. Like I don't want to really help them out too much either, but they ain't really run no pick and roll action for him or no off balls for him. So just trying to get like some other guys involved, I guess, to try to create.
Yeah. And I will say this too. So we're kind of at the point of the season. I had mentioned this to my team, but we're at that point of the season where you start looking at you start looking at the standings and you're like, all right, this is the team we want to match up with. And I still feel like out of all the teams, there's two teams that I'm not saying that we're afraid of them or anything like that, but at least from my eyes, they're the two that I'd be keeping my eye on with the Roman Empire and the underdogs. If those two figure some stuff out, and I think Roman really has pretty much figured everything out as far as what they're gonna do going forward. But if those two teams figure things out, I think that's the two teams I'm looking at. Obviously we haven't played Bahama yet, so I don't know, but I do have my eyes on them, of course, because the fact that they're now, if we consider Ando to be a franchise player, that's the only team in the league that now has two franchise players on one team.
Yeah,
So
that being
obviously
that being Evan and Ando for anybody that don't know what a franchise player is on there. Evan is
right.
their actual franchise player, but Ando looks to be a franchise player as well.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not a team to laugh at. You do have to watch out for that as well. But I don't know. I'm like just looking at them.
What Simba saying, Lion King? I laugh in the face of danger. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bahama, when we see y'all this week, we gonna cook y'all.
Oh wow.
And we
Okay.
gonna be 10-0.
Okay.
Another
I'ma
day,
put the Simba
another victory for the
and I'm gonna
OG,
put the
taking
Simba
down the
gifs
sweats.
in the Discord.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying?
Well, Ace has laid the gauntlet. If we lose that game, I know the league gonna be on your head, boy.
I ain't
Just
losing
saying.
that game, brother.
So
Because and I like Mac team. Hold on. Listen, I like Mac team, but see, they don't know that I like playing man. JW had to find out himself. But I lock down. You know what I'm saying? So Ando come around with them screams. I do pack that thing on me, and he will get clapped.
Hey, that's my PG right there.
You know
that's
what I'm
my
saying?
guy.
I hope y'all don't think we scared to play, man. I know we play 3-2 every single game. Y'all probably like, oh, they gonna play 3-2. We
And
not
that's your
afraid to play
point guard
man if we
fault.
got
All
to.
the point guards in the league learn how to beat his own, bruh. And until y'all learn how to beat his own, we gonna keep running zone.
The
But if
funny
y'all
part
want
is
to
we
see us
be
play
mixing it
man,
up too.
you know what I'm saying? All right, I'm done.
Hey, Ace might be off the yak tonight, y'all.
No,
He's
no,
gonna
no.
be out
Listen. We heard some of the cries of the fans, of the people. I keep telling y'all, I'm a fan. I'm a man of the people. So we try not to do no whole bunch of snow night glazing. But when my point guard gonna talk his talk, I'm gonna let him talk his talk. Y'all just gonna have to live with it.
Hey man,
You
it
know
is
what
what
I'm
it
saying?
is. It is what it is. I do look forward to our first matchup with Bahama post them acquiring Ando. That should be a fun game. Um and just kind of we want to we're gonna wrap this up. I did want to talk about the MJ LeBron thing. I'll keep it super brief because we're running out of time here. But I like how that discussion got the chat going a bit. I do want to say, just from my side of it, some of y'all young fellas got to watch a little bit more Jordan, highlights or something, because this talk about him not being like an all around player, Darius, is a little crazy to me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't say he was an all-around player. I said LeBron James is the better all-around player. LeBron James does more on the basketball court than MJ could do. I didn't say MJ was an all-around player though.
See, that's where I'm gonna disagree. The could do part is a little bit out there for me. Like I feel like there's a lot of things that MJ could do on the court that he chose not to do because he
Yeah,
focused on certain
if
things.
he didn't do it, then we ain't talk. What we talk about?
Hey, look, because the
I'll tell
ability
you what
was
he did
still
do:
there.
win 6 rings and not lose to JJ Barea.
Listen,
That's
you don't
crazy.
listen. I had a conversation earlier today. I'm not gonna sit here and defend LeBron like that though. I'm not a LeBron fan, so listen. BG, no, I was hating on LeBron for years. I was on the Jordan side for a minute, but the whole conversation was just started that if LeBron wins a ring at 40, like that's amazing. Especially,
Yeah,
it's not like, granted, we see him defer to Luca, but it's not like he's full. Like it's not the D Wade LeBron situation where
right.
he is truly the number two option. Like LeBron is still playing at an elite level. So if he win a ring at 40, like that's just more
Uh,
ammo for him to overtake Jordan.
I mean, and I don't disagree with that. Like I think that I give him a lot of props for just the way he's been playing at age 40. I can't say it enough. We've never like nobody. Some people want to take away from that. We have never seen this before. Literally never seen this before. And I am one of the biggest LeBron haters I know, but I have to give him props for that. This is unseen territory. Like Kareem at
Mm-hmm.
age whatever, his last season he stunk. He's averaging like I don't even know off the top of my head, but I would say like probably like 5 points a game or something like that.
Right.
LeBron is still at this point at age 40, he's still like top 10, arguably top 15 if you want to try to disrespect him a little bit, top 15 in the league at age 40. So, and we're talking about the NBA, the best players on the planet. So, I got to give him his props there. My issue is unless he wins, I don't know if he wins Finals MVP and it's a legit Finals MVP, not where it looks like the NBA tried to give it to him, but he has like some dominant games in the finals. If they were to win, that's when I might like it might raise my eyebrows a little bit as far as the GOAT discussion. I still like for me personally, I can never just blot out that loss to the Mavs. That when and it was they lost because he didn't show up, not because he showed up and somebody else fluttered or whatever. He literally choked. So that to me cannot be it can't be understated. That's too glaring for me. But we'll see. I just kind of we'll see. I always do like the discussion, but I mean it don't go nowhere. The problem is they're never going to be able to play against each other, so it'll never truly be settled. I'm trying.
I mean,
I've
that's
gotten to
why
the point.
I never really thought about it, but I love what Ryan said, where because they play in different eras, they different type of players. You just gotta pick who your starting five would be, your best at each position,
Yeah,
and like kind of lead the conversation there. So I like what he said about
yeah.
that. But listen, y'all, we got NBA playoffs coming up.
Oh,
The chat don't got to be all 2K. So man, if y'all got something y'all want to talk about, y'all want to get the chat stirred up, just throw it in the Discord chat, man. Let's have some conversation. It'd be fun.
yeah. And I do want to say this. I got to at least one time. I won't even be on this pod, bro. They got to be at Ryan and Darius pod just once. It has to happen.
Nah.
It has to
Ryan, for
happen, bro.
anybody that saw me and Ryan going at it, I know Ryan. He used to live up here, like so. I've known him for years. That was nothing serious. That's my guy. But if me and Ryan had a podcast, I'll be flying out to Cali so we could throw hands, and then we will hug afterwards and get back to arguing again.
I, I really like it has to happen though, bro. If you need Ace to be there to be the
The
intermediary or
mediator.
whatever, let it happen. But
Yeah.
Definitely,
we,
definitely,
we,
definitely,
we
definitely.
need
Because
it.
you
We
know
need
how
it,
me and
bro.
Ryan go. It's gonna start going left.
I'm calling it now. One of them gonna use the word dumb. I don't know who's gonna use it first, but somebody's gonna use the word dumb, and it's just gonna go downhill from there. But
All love, Ryan. All love. He know it.
but with that, so thank y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all on the next episode of the Fast Break, and with that, we out.